following is a special presentation of TV6 Sports. Entering his 12th season with high hopes, Coach D'Antonio has his Spartans dialed in and forging forward.
We had winners off the field, not just on the field.
Experience is back with chemistry, relationships, and leadership to guide them through the point of attack.
We got to bring it every Saturday.
Play with urgency and find those inches that will lead them to success. This is Countdown to Kickoff. Now, here's your host, Fred Human.
Good evening, everyone. Happy college football season, and welcome to our show, Countdown to Kickoff. And indeed, we are in a countdown mode now until the start of Michigan State's football season. T-minus 48 hours and counting now until toe meets leather, and the 122nd season of Spartan football will be underway. I am Fred Human and always have been. Thanks for looking in tonight. Michigan State started preseason practice back on August 3rd, and the Spartans have been diligently preparing for the season opener ever since. Utah State, the opponent, Friday night at Spartan Stadium, 7:01 kickoff time. The Aggies and Spartans play for the first time in history. MSU comes into the season ranked 11th in the country in the Associated Press poll. Mark D'Antonio starting season number 12 at the helm of MSU football, and his players have been chomping at the bit to get this season started.
It's for sure like Christmas morning, for sure, because, you know, you've been waiting since what was December. You know, we've been waiting since December. It's a lot of anticipation and excitement built up.
And what is that feeling like running out of the tunnel for the first game of the season?
I can't even describe it. It's unbelievable, you know, seeing all those people. Got Spartan Stadium packed out, smoke running through the smoke, got Sparty in front of you, ready to play.
I feel closer to more guys on this team maybe than any of the years past, so it's exciting. We got a great thing going. Just look forward to keeping it rolling.
Try and take it from good to great. You know, 10 wins last year. You know, we needed it after a 3-9 year. But, you know, 10 wins didn't win the conference. That's the goal. So whatever it takes to win the conference, that's what we're trying to get to, whether it's 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. And, you know, we're trying to make this year as special as possible.
And that was, of course, Joe Bocci, not David Dowell, on the Spartan defense. And nobody more excited about getting things going than MSU's returning starting quarterback Brian Lewerke, who is coming off a banner season and is only in his junior year. But his experience makes it seem like this Spartan offense is in veteran hands. Lewerke, not a real excitable guy outwardly, but he admitted to Alex Sims that he's been pointing to Friday night's opener for some time now. So with the countdown clock ticking, you can sense the anticipation in his quiet voice.
What's the feeling like the first game of the season, running out of the tunnel for the first time?
It's pretty cool. Haven't done it in 8 or 9 months, so to be able to do that once again, it's going to be exciting. I expect the stadium to be pretty packed on a Friday night first game. Should be fun. It's a new season. You got new guys running around you. You're a little older, more experienced. Nerves probably a little less, hopefully, than last year, so it'll still be exciting.
Is it harder to, like, maintain that excitement, keep level-headed?
I think, personally, I do a good job of it. That's something I want to do, is be calm. Once I get too excited is kind of when I get a little antsy, a little frantic. So, personally, I think I do a good job of staying calm.
All right, Lewerke has quite an act to follow. He was 3rd in the Big Ten last year in total offense and 35th in the country as only a sophomore. Coming up, a chat with another key cog in that Spartan offense, senior running back L.J. Scott.
Take me through a play, L.J. You get the football, either a handoff or a pitch, and there's a hole. And the hole opens.
Well, what's that like?
It's like a vacation.
A running back's delight is an open hole in the defense, and L.J. Scott hopes to find a lot of them this season, a season many thought he'd never be around for. We'll go one-on-one with L.J. and find out why he came back for one more year. Up next on Countdown to Kickoff.
Hi, everybody. This is Jack Drees with the opening of Western Conference football for 1952 at Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's Michigan playing host to their cross-state rivals, the Spartans from Michigan State, before some 97,000 highly partisan fans. But the Spartans are here today to make it 3 in a row over Michigan under Coach Biggie Munn. Key man in the Spartan attack is quarterback Tom Usick and 1952 captain Don McAuliffe, Spartan All-American candidate. And Michigan State has the ball, and they trail in this ball game by the unbelievable margin of 13-0. Handoff goes to Don McAuliffe. Beautiful blocking there as McAuliffe swings wide around right end. He gets past the first wave of defenders, threads his way through the rest, and suddenly McAuliffe breaks into the clear, and he is off for a Michigan State touchdown, 70 yards.
From the Six Sports Archives, that great 1952 team coming back from that 13-0 deficit and beating Michigan for a third year in a row en route to the national championship and undefeated season. The Spartan family lost on McAuliffe recently. McAuliffe died in July at the age of 90. What a legacy he left. McAuliffe, a running back here around 65 years ago. How about the featured running back on this 2018 Spartan team? I had a chance to sit down with senior L.J. Scott to talk about his last whirl at MSU. What do you remember about the day you committed here?
The day I committed here, I was actually in my front yard. I was on the phone with Coach D, and I told him that I'll be coming to Michigan State. It was definitely like a lot of weight off my shoulders. It was more I could just focus on the rest of the time being in school and know where I'm going instead of having other coaches, you know, come in and offer me this and offer me that. So it was a good process.
Why Michigan State for you?
It was actually down to two schools, Ohio State and Michigan State. Michigan State, I just feel more of a family here. Also Curtis Drummond, he was from Hubbard as well. He went to my high school as well. So it was basically a family tradition for me. It's where I felt more comfortable, where I had, you know, a better chance to play. You know, I got the number that I wanted. You know, coming out of high school, you know, for any high school student, I think being able to play as a freshman and getting the number you wanted, it really means a lot to you, and you know, it'll make you commit, I guess.
During the bowl game last year, when most of us experts, thought it was going to be your last game at Michigan State, you came out matter-of-factly after the game, and you said, "I'm coming back."
Yeah, I'll be back in East Lansing and play another season with my dogs.
Why'd you come back?
Individually, it was more of my performance. You know, I just feel like I didn't, you know, perform at the best of my ability. Definitely left some stuff out on the field that I wish, you know, didn't really happen. Collectively as a team, we just got a chance to do some great things. Just team chemistry is, you know, out the roof. So I had a chat with my mother as well, so she was supporting anything that I did. So I think it'll be a great 2018 season.
You have 2,500 yards rushing. You've led the team in rushing, I believe, every year. What do you feel like you haven't fulfilled individually?
Individually, I feel like I could bring a lot more to the table. You know, yards after contact, just being a more complete back, more hard runner. You know, sacrificing something I've never did to get where I want to be and to help this team out.
Is the tendency to fumble a bad rap on you, in your opinion?
Definitely not. It's also no excuse for it, but that's definitely not a tendency. You know, things happen. I was facing some adversity. It's about how I handle it and how I got through it. And coming in this 2018 season, you know, it'll be a different story and a, you know, different man under that helmet.
Michigan State has become a little bit of a running back factory, going back to a guy you probably haven't heard of, Eric Allen, in the 60s, and then you must know Lorenzo White and Le'Veon Bell. Is that important to you to be a part of this history?
It's definitely important to me. Just playing behind those guys, you know, the legacy that has come here, come through this place of running backs, some great running backs, Edwin Baker as well, and Larry Caper as well, and you know, all those good backs. So just being a part of that tradition, a part of that, you know, running back family, it means a lot.
Take me through a play, LJ. You get the football, either a handoff or a pitch, and there's a hole. And the hole opens.
Well,
what's that like?
It's like a vacation. Once you see it, you're like, you know, so, no, it's a great feeling knowing that, you know, those guys up front is getting it done, receiving that handoff or pitch, and, you know, seeing a hole this big that you can basically walk through. But, you know, it's a great feeling, knowing that, you know, we'll have a good play, pick up at least 5 yards and, you know, maybe even a touchdown.
There's great optimism around here this year, isn't there?
Definitely. Just the stuff that goes on around here, the family tradition, our team chemistry, and how we know it felt, you know, coming off a 3-9 season. Definitely don't want to go back down that route. Last year, we obviously had a successful season, but, you know, we got everybody back, and I think we're willing to do some great things this year.
LJ, what's that stand for?
Larry Jr. Larry Jr. So,
have you always been LJ?
I've always been LJ.
Since you were a kid?
Since I was a kid.
Does anyone call you Larry anymore?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people call me Larry. They know I don't like it, so that's why they call me Larry.
That's the last time I'll do it, LJ.
No, it's totally fine because, you know, they all joke around with it and everything, but I don't really mind it. I don't really mind it at all anymore.
Have a great year, LJ.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Larry Jr. is more than ready to make his last season at MSU his best and to prove that he can hold on to the football. When we come back, a look into the man many Spartan players, past and present, credit for much of their success, and certainly he's the man behind their motivation. He's longtime strength and conditioning coach Ken Manny, and we'll pick his brain and find out his method to his madness next on Countdown to Kickoff.
Come off probation next year. January 18th, we come off of probation. And that's the whole thing we've been asking and working towards, and our kids and our recruiting is we're coming out of this thing.
Former Michigan State coach Darryl Rogers, after his biggest win at MSU, a 24-15 victory over Michigan in 1978. God rest his soul. The Spartan football family lost Darryl on July 10th. He coached the Spartans and later the Lions. He was a very kind man, a man of great humor, a man who had a great offensive football mind. He passed away from natural causes at the age of 83. Hey, would Darryl Rogers have ever loved to have a receiver like Felton Davis to work with? And he would have made good use of him, too. Davis is the senior receiver on this 2018 Spartan team, who made so many clutch catches last season as a junior. He's a hard worker in practice, and in the weight room, he became a favorite target of quarterback Brian Lewerke and ended up with a career-high 55 receptions and nearly 800 yards to go along with 9 touchdowns. And he was among the Big Ten leaders in each of those categories. There is something about being a senior that just endears yourself to being a team leader, and Felton fits that role and really welcomes the challenge. Leaders have always been important here, especially under Coach D. What does it mean to you now that you are one?
It just means a lot. It's a thank you from my teammates also. You know, being I come out here and I bust my butt every day in the weight room, on the field. I try to bring people along with me. That way I'm not leaving anybody behind, and that's just the person that I've always been. You know, it's just a blessing to be considered one of the leaders on the team.
You have to earn that here, don't you?
You have to earn everything.
Did you envision that one day for you? Was that your personality to be a leader?
I know Coach Vork always told me that I had like charisma by myself, where people just listen to me and follow me whether it was right or wrong. I know like in high school I wasn't a vocal leader. I just used to do stuff, you know, and people either followed me or they didn't. When I got here, people push you to be vocal, be vocal, be vocal. And sometimes when you're not used to that, it's kind of hard when you out there and you're running and you're doing conditioning and you're tired, but you gotta find enough energy for you and the next man beside you. People that was here before me did it, you know, and just see like with the better the leaders are on the team, the better the team is.
One of the people Davis credits for his development as a player and his leadership skills is MSU's longtime strength and conditioning coach, Ken Manny. Manny is in his 24th season in that same role at MSU, and that means he survived a lot of coaching changes, meaning he's impressed every head coach here to keep him around. Manny was hired by Nick Saban when the current Alabama coach was the head man at MSU, and he has stood the test of time and has not molded the Spartan players into champions and NFL players with a soft touch. He is demanding, he is relentless, and tough love is what this guy has made a career of.
I grew up in a completely tough love environment from the get-go. So my hometown in Ohio, Steubenville, Ohio, is a tough love town. So it's a small, still city on the Ohio River. It's made up of hard-working, dedicated, committed people that put the nose to the grindstone every day. Don't be the weak link. Don't be just hanging around. You better bring your hard hat and lunch pail, no matter what I'm not talking about just going to work physically. I'm talking about any endeavor that you decide to go into. You better bring that hard hat lunch pail with you and that clenched jaw, locked in spine, and ready to go.
That shaped you.
I think so. I mean, I always look back towards things like that, and I talk about I can never discount those days in terms of being a main influence on me in terms of who I am and what I believe in. Absolutely.
Did you ever think you'd be here 24 years?
I never really gave it much thought. The place is very special to me. It's special to our family. It's a great place. It has a lot of great people in it. And, I feel very fortunate and blessed that I've been here that long.
You told me you knew shortly after Coach D was here that he was the guy that was going to turn this around. How did you know that?
Well, because I know Coach D'Antonio. I knew that even when his name came up in the hiring process, if we can get him, if we can convince Mark to come here, that this program is going to take off, and it's going to take off quickly. It's not going to be something that's going to take an enormous amount of time to build and develop. They say that things that are built fast tend not to last, but he built it fast, and it's lasting. And I think that's a credit to him, the kind of person he is, the kind of coach that he is, and his plan and his vision for Michigan State.
That vision of Mark D'Antonio's is something we'll chat about when we go one-on-one with the head coach later in this program. And up next, another enlightening interview, this one with a Spartan defensive line specialist who had plenty to prove when he arrived on campus 3 years ago. But I'd say number 48 in that Spartan defense has proven plenty. From walk-on to Spartan stalwart, Alex Sims joins us to share the unique story of Kenny Willekes. You got to see this up next on Countdown to Kickoff.
We thank you for this day. We're very appreciative of the opportunity that you've given us. Thanks for helping us prepare, helping us make the most of our opportunities, help those that are banged up, help us to make smart decisions tonight. In your name we pray. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll give Spartan fans chills from Ann Arbor on that glorious Saturday last October. Another victory for MSU over Michigan, something that just seldom happened around here before the arrival of Mark D'Antonio 12 years ago. You win with defense. Coach D knows that. Any championship coach does, and a champion on this MSU defense has been a work in progress. Alex Sims joins us now in studio sharing her conversation with Kenny Willekes. Hi, Alex.
There's a saying, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And Michigan State junior defensive end Kenny Willekes is on the verge of accomplishing everything at Michigan State. Sometimes in life, you just need someone to give you a chance.
He came forward, it was like, get over here, I need to talk to you.
And when given the opportunity, Kenny Willekes not only took it, but ran with it.
Kenny Willekes and company coming up for the stop.
The 225-pound freshman transitioned into a 260-pound junior in one of the best defensive ends in the Big Ten.
Dropped again. And Willekes got him as we check in with Maria.
2017, he recorded 73 tackles and 7 sacks. And by the looks of things, the best is yet to come.
It was one of those things, it wasn't, is it going to happen? It was, when is it going to happen with Kenny? Because these guys who just came in with this this, we call it here the chip on the shoulder, and they were told that they weren't good enough, and they're going to prove everyone wrong.
But this story is more than becoming an elite Big Ten pass rusher. It's about the journey to one of the biggest stages in college football. Kenny played 3 years of varsity football at North Point Christian High School. a small school in Grand Rapids that just started a football program 6 years before Kenny got there. He had a stellar high school career with 423 career tackles, and in his senior year rushed for over 800 yards. And despite all of that success, he didn't receive a single Division I offer.
A few GLIAC schools that offers, Wayne State and Fair State.
Tonight from the banks of the Red Cedar, East Lansing, Michigan.
But Kenny's heart was set on playing at Michigan State, whether he was on scholarship or not.
Growing up, I was a Spartan fan, and I always wanted to be a Michigan State Spartan. You can just tell the people and the coaches here is different than any other place. They care more about you as a person here than as a football player.
As you watch him go through practices, you watch him go through lifts, it's just a drive. It's just this innate ability to push through things, to continue to press himself and know that his ceiling can be as high as he puts it.
And when the opportunity knocked on the door, he opened it.
I have a chance to prove myself. I wanted to take it and prove people wrong. You know, it got hard sometimes when you're not playing, when other guys are getting more attention than you, but eventually, just keep working hard and it ended up all paying off.
He's pushed up and through from a smaller high school program, unwanted recruit, scholarship-wise, to someone who gets here through his redshirt freshman year, doesn't see the field. All he's wanting to do is contribute and show everybody what he has in him.
I want to make sure that they view me as more than a walk-on. I'm here to play. I can compete in the Big Ten, and I can compete with anybody.
Unlike guys who were on scholarship, Kenny had to tackle every obstacle that was in his way.
Well, there's a reason he's playing. Everybody said, well, you got a walk-on guy playing a defensive end. There's a reason behind it.
Fast forward 2 years, the guy that once was a walk-on is now making plays for the Spartans on Saturdays.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for right there. He's proven so far that there's nothing that a person can't do if they put their mind to it.
He's a good player. He plays with a great deal of enthusiasm and toughness, and he's relentless.
But even with all of his success over the last few years, Kenny continues to play like that walk-on who is just looking for his chance.
I'm not finished, but I like to use it as a platform. I don't like to point at myself or say, look what I did. I like to use it to say, look what you can do through hard work, and try to inspire others and show them that if they want to put their mind to something and really try to accomplish something, that you can do it.
And here is one for you, in case you think Kenny Willekes is the typical football jock. Just guess what his major is. I'll give you a hint. It's not phys ed, it's chemistry. Fred?
All right, Alex, nice job. Nothing official, but my guess is you don't find many chemistry majors on defensive lines throughout college football. Thanks for sharing that, Alex. When we come back, one chat with a place kicker and another one with a new athletic director at MSU. We haven't said that around here in a while. We'll pick it up with Bill Beekman, who gets his first college game as the boss man. Up next on Countdown to Kickoff. Welcome back. I'm going to call this next segment something we do just for kicks. But place kickers, doggone it, don't get much love and very little attention until, of course, they miss a kick. Matt Coughlin didn't miss many as a freshman last season for the Spartans. In fact, he kicked so accurately he was named Big Ten honorable mention with his performance as a redshirt freshman. Coughlin only missed 4 field goals in all of 17, and 3 of the misses hit the crossbar. He was 15 of 19 on makes, hit a humongous game winner here to beat Penn State, and the soft-spoken kicker has made the most of a decision some years ago to give up his first love, soccer, for football full-time.
Was that a hard decision?
Oh yeah, soccer's my true love. Love it, and to quit it, it's super tough. But I think it was a good decision. Love football. Love these guys.
Oh, and he nailed it. Michigan State settles for the 3 points.
Being good at this, did that even surprise you a little bit?
I don't know if I'd say it surprised me. I always had the biggest leg, growing up playing soccer, and kind of mess around with it during grade school, but never really tried it. Just a ton of practice, in high school, and I got to where I wanted to be right now.
He will hold it for Matt Coughlin. This from 42 yards. With the breeze and the rain, and it is good. That's a great kick by Matt Coughlin.
What goes through your mind mind when you get out there? Pressure's on, you're down, they're counting on you to kick that field goal. What goes through your mind at that point?
I really try and block all that out, block the fan noise, block everything else, but just try and focus on me. I'm gonna trust my snapper, trust my holder, and just gotta trust myself that I've done this enough times, I'm good enough, I can make the kick every time.
A good place kicker can be quite a weapon for any team, and it looks like the Spartans have a good weapon for a few years to come. New times at MSU. Mark Hollis no longer the athletic director. He stepped down amongst the university turmoil since the last football season ended. Enter the new man on the block, because he isn't a kid. He's Bill Beekman, who served as interim AD before having that interim tag removed. Beekman is a Spartan graduate. He was vice president and secretary of the Board of Trustees here since 2008. He has a big challenge ahead of him with a budget, managing 25 varsity sports and keeping them solvent. That's no small task. He used to sit in the stands as a regular fan at Michigan State games. Friday night will be his first game in charge of MSU athletics. What will that first football Saturday, or should I say Friday night, be like for you when you're on the field, you're in charge of this department, on the other side of that wall where you used to sit?
Well, it'll be really strange. It will, because for the last 10 years, I've had a very different role in football. As the secretary of the board and vice president, my role has been to work mostly with our donors and our board. I spent most of my time on the 7th floor, working with donors and entertaining folks and spending time in the president's box, and so it will be hard not to sort of naturally gravitate towards that space, as I always have. And it's kind of like when you, if you ever move from one house to the next, you drive home the first 2 or 3 days to the wrong house, and I think it'll be I'll sort of find myself heading up the elevator and saying, drop me off at 7. Rather than 8, where the athletic director's space is. But I'm excited. I think it will be a fun transition, and I'm excited to get the football season started.
All right, it's unanimous. Fans, players, the AD, media, more than ready for the start of the new college football season. But what about the head coach? Mark D'Antonio, usually quite tight with his words, speaks very carefully. He opens up a bit and shows us a lighter side. In fact, we've divided the D'Antonio one-on-one into 2 parts. Part 1 coming up. You won't want to miss this. Stay with us. Has his legacy staying alive helped you find some peace?
It really has. Mike worked so hard to gain the reputation that he had, not just in the classroom and on the field, but as the person that he was, that light, that giver. The fact that we're able to carry that on, that does give us some peace. It gives us some, it certainly gives us motivation for getting up every morning. And when we hear from the students that, have been affected by what we've done so far, or the parents of those students, it's so heartwarming, Fred. It's just, we know that we're doing the right thing, something that Mike would have done.
And the memory of former Spartan Mike Sadler does live on, as well as Mylan Hicks, who passed recently, and the aforementioned Don McAuliffe and Darrell Rogers. Mark D'Antonio begins season number 12 as the head coach at MSU, his 39th year in coaching. He has 100 wins on the nose at MSU. 10 more will make him the winningest football coach in Spartan history. He would supplant the legendary Duffy Daugherty. Coach D went one-on-one with me for our Countdown to Kickoff show. We've divided it into 2 parts. Here's part 1. I see a lot of people around town, as you do. And all I've heard the last month is how forward everyone is looking to football. And the Spartans are really going to be good. What kind of pressure does that put on you? What kind of responsibility is that?
Well, I don't see as many people as you do, so I don't have to worry about that, but in all honesty. But, I think when you have a good football team last year, I think the expectations are always going to be high. But, when you come to a place like this, Michigan State, and I knew that a long time ago when I came here as an assistant, Michigan State has always been one of sort of the haves in the country, So the expectations have always been high, and I think it's because of the championships that were won back in the 60s and maybe some of the things we've done recently. It's a good feeling.
You like that? That's okay with you. You signed up for that, didn't you?
Yeah, you signed up for that. You hope expectations are high. You hope people are excited about the season and confident in the program and in you.
You're being a little modest. I understand the 60s were a part of it. But what's happened here the last 12 years have been a part of it too. The cynicism, the skepticism, the doubt has been erased, Mark. Don't you believe that?
I've always believed that internally, so I just come to work. We just go to work. I think our focus is always key, focus on small things and, as the great philosopher Lao Tzu said, anticipate the difficult by managing the easy. And we'll try and do that.
The great philosopher who?
Lao Tzu. You have to look him up.
Can I Google him?
Yeah.
I'll Google him. You have a lot of red letter games, but there's something about the opener that makes it a red letter game automatically, doesn't there?
Yeah, I think it's, as you said, I think it's the optimism. Every program in America right now has a degree of optimism, want to do better or as well or whatever, or win a championship or whatever. And so everybody goes to camp with that same type of optimism, and then you work through camp and work through the injuries that come with it and get ready to play your first game. But there's nothing like running out of that tunnel maybe for your last time as a senior or as the first time as a freshman. Football season is here, and football is such a popular sport in this country and at Michigan State.
The players that I've talked to, and let me bookmark this with players in August are always optimistic, and they're always high in their hopes, as they should be. But I sense that these players feel that there's a special bond on this team. Now, that's still to be played out. Do you see that? Do you feel that?
Yeah, usually I think when you go through something difficult and come out the other end, there's going to be some natural bonds formed. And I think that's what's happened to this football team coming out of 16 and everything that we experienced, and then going into 17 and accomplishing what we did. We were a young football team, so a lot of those players remain. Leadership was formed last year because we were such a young football team. And so now those leaders are a year older, the Joe Bocci's, the Brian Lewerke's. I mean, really, they were leaders last year as sophomores. I think that's natural. I've said before, I feel like our football team, we have a group of young people that are very unselfish. They're trying to do the right thing by people and have a great feel for each other and compete against each other. And, they've had a lot of guys, we got a lot of guys back that have experience, and, all that sort of propels them forward. But they've had a fun August.
And we'll have some fun with Coach D with, guess what, part 2 of our preseason conversation. You will just never guess what has become one of his favorite music types. You got to stay tuned for that up next on Countdown to Kickoff.
Sports Countdown to Kickoff has been sponsored by SBS, the student bookstore.
Welcome back one more time. A moment ago, you heard Mark D'Antonio speak of his anxiousness for this season, the pride he feels in the 12-year legacy he has built, and the good feeling he has about this 2018 team. Now in part 2, we talk some musical tastes and overcoming adversity that nobody on this team had anything to do with. I believe there's another reason for the optimism. People around here need to feel good again. It's been a long year around here for reasons I don't need to outline.
Yeah.
Can football be a part of the healing process?
I think it can. I think we want to be part of the solution. I've said that before. Now, part of that is just going out and playing well. Another part of it is handling ourselves socially, doing things in the community that we do, and making just life a little bit better for young people and other people.
39 years in coaching. You ever believe it?
No. I think even more, when you combine that with the time that I spent in football, I think I started playing football in the 2nd grade. So my Augusts have been busy.
When you were a player at a college level, was there a coach in you when you played?
I thought that I would want to coach. I thought, hey, those guys have a good job. I like what they do. I didn't know all the other things that came with it. But I liked my position coach. I liked our coaches, and I thought, man, that's a good job. So I thought maybe I want to coach, and so I started at the high school level for 1 year, and then moved to college as a graduate assistant and went that route, and on from there. Been very fortunate and blessed really to be here at Michigan State. 6 years the first time, and now 12 years. So 18 years of my life has been spent in East Lansing, and that truly has been a blessing for not just for me, but for my entire family.
When that contingent of Spartan personnel came to Cincinnati, Ohio, and interviewed you for this job, that included Tom Izzo, I believe.
Yeah.
Did you believe you would be here 12 years? Did you even think about it?
No, I'm focused on one day at a time.
You want to be here 1 year?
Yeah, in this day and age, yeah, 1 year would be good. Yeah. No, I really didn't, but again, this is one of the places I think you go in college football where, now maybe that hasn't happened before, but you tend to stay if you're having success. I mean, and we've had great success here, we really have.
You win 10 more games, and you pass Duffy as the winningest coach in Michigan State history. I know what you're going to say. Let's win the next one.
Yeah, one game.
Let's win one.
Yeah.
But you're coming into pretty elite company here. What does that mean to you?
It's a statement for our entire program. All the coaches that have come through here in that 12-year period, all the players that have come through here in that 12-year period. It means that if we are able to accomplish that, it means that they played in one of the most successful times. It's not a one-person thing. It's a group thing. It really is, because so many people have had an impact on this program. You know, we've had All-Americans, we've had first-round draft choices, we've had guys from Texas or Georgia or Ohio or certainly Michigan, all over the place, and we've had coaches go on from here. So it's a statement for everybody who's been involved here, I think.
You said when you played you thought coaching might be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about your job that aren't fun, that people don't even see. Is there still a rush, though? Do you still enjoy that part of the job, the coaching part of the job, never mind everything else?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy the X's and O's of it. I enjoy the young people. I think it keeps you young a little bit. I enjoy, you know, I know more modern music than most my age, but I just think you know, what you do for a living is so challenging that it keeps you going. My wife tells me it's going to take me 2 to 3 years to adjust to civilian life, but you know, she does all the time. But I do. I enjoy my job here. I hope that our players enjoy their time here and our other coaches enjoy their time, and I think that's what's made us this time so special. We've enjoyed ourselves.
Well, you are moving into the twilight of your career. There's no question about that. I'm not going to ask you when, but do you think about retirement?
I thought about retirement when I was 40.
Did you?
Yeah, of course you do. You always think about, okay, 20 more years or whatever it is. Quite honestly, now I don't really think about it as much. I know it's a possibility at some point, but I enjoy what I'm doing. And I enjoy being around our players. And it's very difficult when you have relationships with, it was very difficult for me to leave Cincinnati because of the relationships with the players. And it'll be very difficult to leave Michigan State because there's always another freshman. There's always another sophomore. There's always guys whose families that you meet that come in here. So my intent is to continue on. You know, so, you know, I'll always try and finish it out with the players that I recruited.
Back up. Did you say you enjoy modern music? Did I hear that correctly?
Some. Just some, yeah.
What do you enjoy?
A little rap music every now and then.
No, you don't.
A little bit. You know, I've gotten to know more. But we'll move past that.
That music they play during warm-ups, during calisthenics, you like that stuff?
Some.
Really?
Some.
You're not pulling my leg?
Some.
No kidding?
Some.
Never heard you say that.
Here I am.
All right, Mark, have number 12 be a good one.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'll be watching you during pregame to see how you react to that rap music.
Maybe we'll play something different. Go Green.
All right, as always, we thank Coach D for his time and his generosity. We thank you for looking in tonight, too. That's our countdown to kickoff. We'll see you tonight at 11. Enjoy your football season, everyone.
This has been an exclusive presentation of WLNS TV6 Sport.